Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Pradeep from Medical Affairs team of Dr. Reddy's. On behalf of Dr. Reddy's and Hematology team, I welcome you all. As we all know, cancer is one of the main cause of death globally as well as in India. Amongst this, blood cancer also plays a major role. Every year, over 1 lakh people are diagnosed with blood cancer in India, but the awareness is still lagging in this sector. Our oncology team tried to organize meeting with eminent faculties to spread and address the queries related to multiple myeloma. In that regard, we are delighted to collaborate with Dr. Rekha Bansal, consultant medical oncologist from Apollo Hospital. So, in regards to academics, ma'am has done MBBS from MedCity Institute of Medical Science. Followed, she pursued DNB in general medicine and DNB in medical oncology from Omega Hospital, Hyderabad. Her areas of interest includes lung, gastrointestinal, and hematological malignancies. Ma'am has nearly 10 years of experience in clinical practice. With this very brief, I'll take the privilege to welcome you here, ma'am. It's a pleasure
Thank
to have
you.
you with us, ma'am, today.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we have prepared a set of questions pertaining to multiple myeloma, which has been commonly addressed by most people. So, if you can clarify that, it will be of great use to the listeners, ma'am.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to tell you, good you selected this topic. It is, I think, one of the least talked about subject because somewhere incidence is less when compared to other cancers. So yes, let's proceed. Yeah.
Sure, ma'am. So, to begin with, what is multiple myeloma, ma'am? Can you brief on that in the simple words, ma'am?
So multiple myeloma is one disease which you cannot really label it as blood cancer or a solid tumor either. It is basically a problem with the bone marrow. So bone marrow is the place where the blood cells are produced, and there are different types of blood cells. Now, one of the type of blood cells is called plasma cells. So whenever plasma cells are produced more than needed, then that becomes multiple myeloma. It is actually a spectrum of diseases. It is called multiple myeloma when the production of plasma cells is so much so that it starts to affect the kidney, the bone, and also it produces proteins which are circulating in excess amounts in the blood and are also excreted in the urine. So yes, it's basically a problem with the bone marrow.
Thank you, ma'am, for clarifying that. Ma'am, what are the causes for this multiple myeloma?
So it's difficult to pinpoint and say that this causes, multiple myeloma. It's not due to something that the patient must have eaten over years, or it's not like lung cancer where you can say smoking causes lung cancer. Now there are certain risk factors. Instead of using the word causes, I would like to use the word risk factors. There are certain factors which increases the risk of occurrence of multiple myeloma. So age, definitely with increase in age, automatically a person is at increased risk of multiple myeloma. Then exposure to radiation, some sorts of radiation can also predispose to multiple myeloma. Male gender itself has been identified to be a risk factor. Apart from all this, family history of multiple myeloma also increases the chance of multiple myeloma. So the cause, if you say, it is basically a genetic mutation which happens in the plasma cell, causing its excessive production. Risk factors are as I have listed. So,
Thank you, ma'am. I have briefed on the causes, risk factors now. So, how common is it in India, ma'am, pertaining to India?
so when compared to West, definitely multiple myeloma is not as common. But what we have been seeing is that in metro cities, at least the incidence is increasing. We are seeing almost 15,000 cases of multiple myeloma being diagnosed in India every year. And the incidence is around one case per 1 lakh population, whereas in the West, it is, four cases per 1 lakh population. And like I earlier said, it is more commonly seen in males. And the incidence is definitely rising. We are seeing more and more cases. It could be because of more awareness and more diagnostics are available. So we are picking it more. Incidence is definitely rising. Yeah.
We have seen the sex in male, it's been more. Ma'am, in what age group it is more common, ma'am? And what age group does it affect more?
Yeah, good question. Actually, I forgot to mention that. So in the West, we generally see it above 65 years of age. But in India, somehow the incidence has been found to be in slightly younger, a decade earlier than the West. So we generally see patients in their 40s, 50s, even, which is unheard of, So it is a decade earlier than the West. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what are the signs and symptoms of this multiple myeloma? How does this patients present to you, ma'am?
So, like I said, the problem is with the bone marrow. Now, bone marrow is the place where there are red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets. Now, because the plasma cells are occupying the available marrow space, the normal RBCs, WBCs, and platelets are not produced. So, all the symptoms are due to these. So, when the RBC falls, there will be anemia. Patient will experience breathlessness or fatigue. Because of the drop in the WBC, immunity is lost, and that is why the patient shows increased frequency of infections. Because the platelets are low, patient experiences various forms of bleeding, easy bruising. Apart from all this, because it can go and attack the bones, it can affect the kidneys. Patients also present with kidney failure and bone pains. Bone pains are very common in multiple myeloma because it is highly predisposed to spread to the bones, different bones like the spinal bones or even the long bones can get affected, and patient will come to us with bone pains. So mainly the signs, the symptoms are breathlessness, easy fatigability, easy bruisability, and decreased urine output, also bone pains. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we have seen till now the complaints and how does the patient present and how it's been seen in the population now. So moving further with the diagnosis, ma'am, what are the tests that are done to diagnose multiple myeloma?
So, like I said, problem is with the marrow. I'm repeating myself. So, we need to do a bone marrow test to see the percentage of the plasmas because it's a spectrum. And if the plasma percentage is less, then we call it pre-myeloma stage, right? So, the tests include a bone marrow, then X-rays to see all the bones that are affected. Of course, these days we have moved to MRI and PET scans rather than just the basic X-rays. And then because the proteins are produced in excessive amounts too, we do many blood tests and urine tests to know the level of the excessive proteins that are being produced. So these are some of the tests that we do to look for myeloma.
Thank you, ma'am, for clarifying it. Ma'am, in regards to treatment, does all myeloma patients need to be treated, ma'am?
So pre-myeloma stages, that is smoldering multiple myeloma and MGUS, these are two conditions where we choose to observe. Of course, data is coming up that they should be treated with some basic treatment so that they don't progress to multiple myeloma. But once a multiple myeloma is diagnosed, yes, we do treat them. Treatment treatment depends on the stage and the risk factors. Like if the patient comes under high risk myeloma, then we might choose to transplant the patient also. Yes. So to answer your question, all the multiple myeloma patients should be treated. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, coming to the treatment which I have told. So what are the different modalities of treatment available for the multiple myeloma treatment, ma'am?
A lot of development has happened in multiple myeloma. This is one space where, as we talk, a drug is being investigated and being approved for its treatment. And I'm happy for all the multiple myeloma patients because more the drugs the better, right? So we basically use oral treatment forms. IV treatment forms are available. I mean, chemotherapy drugs are available to treat multiple myeloma. Then monoclonal antibodies are being used in multiple myeloma. Steroids form an important part of treatment of multiple myeloma. Apart from all this, like I earlier mentioned, stem cell transplantation is also one of the ways to treat it. It's all, we use chemotherapy drugs followed by stem cell transplant to treat multiple myeloma. So a lot of development is happening in this field.
Can you please elaborate on the bone marrow transplant procedure and its types, ma'am?
So, bone marrow transplant basically means you are removing or you are destroying the marrow which is problematic by using chemotherapy. High dose chemotherapy is used, and then stem cells are infused back into the patient, which will then take over the function of the marrow. So, stem cells are the cells which can transform into any sort of cell. So, when a marrow from a patient is destroyed and stem cells are then infused into such a patient, those stem cells will go and occupy the place of the marrow and take over the function of the marrow. Now, when I'm saying you destroy the marrow, that is by the use of chemotherapy. Now, where are you getting this new marrow from? new marrow could be from the patient himself or herself, that is autologous stem cell transplant, or allogenic stem cell transplant, where we depend on a matched donor for the source of the marrow. Right. So in autologous stem cell transplant, once the disease is eradicated by using basic chemotherapy as induction, we then go for collection of the stem cells from the patient himself or herself, and then then high dose chemotherapy is used to destroy the remainder of the marrow, and these stem cells are reinfused into the patient. That is autologous stem cell transplant. In allogenic stem cell transplant, we induce a remission status in the patient, and then we eradicate the marrow by using high dose chemotherapy, and marrow from other source, a matched donor, is then given to the patient, which takes over the function of the normal marrow.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I
It
hope
was
that
in detail.
answers.
Yes, ma'am. It was in detail on bone marrow transplant. Definitely, it will be of great use to the listeners, I guess, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm moving further with the next treatment modality, chemotherapy. How long the patients are need to be treated with, or they have to take the chemotherapy, ma'am?
Yeah, so it basically depends on the treatment plan for the patient. That is the patient transplant eligible or ineligible? For a patient where we are eventually planning a transplant, even after transplant, we continue some form of chemotherapy, which is called maintenance therapy, for at least 2 years. Now, more and more data is coming to say that this maintenance therapy be continued for as long as the patient is tolerating and as long as the patient is in remission. But most of us right now are giving it for 2 years. And in transplant ineligible, because we are not able to do transplant in these patients, we prefer to continue them on maintenance therapy, which is a low dose form of treatment. Either it could be bortezomib or lenalidomide, basically a form of chemotherapy. Again, that is continued until the patient, as long as the patient can tolerate it, or as long as the patient is in remission. So for quite some time. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, moving with the final question of mine, ma'am. We have seen the treatment modalities, and you have told there are lots of drugs being there. So, what is the life expectancy expected with the multiple myeloma in the currently available treatment, ma'am? This been the most favorite for all, and they want to know.
Yeah. So multiple myeloma is one very exceptional cancer where we have seen long survival of the patients, of course, and with the availability of newer options, this survival period is actually improving. And earlier it used to be 5 year survival used to be only 30%. Now we are looking at average 5 year survival. Again, the survival depends on the stage, it depends on the risk, and whether or not the patient has undergone transplant. If I were to tell you just one ballpark figure, it would be 5 year survival is around 50%. Again, in stage one, this 5 year survival could be as high as 80%. In stage three, this 5 year survival could be around 40%. If a patient undergoes transplant, we are prolonging, we are able to increase the survival to by a huge number. That is, we are looking at 10-year survival of 80%, which is quite a high number. So yeah, if to tell you in terms of years, we could say ki, on an average these patients are able to make it to 5 years and 6 years after diagnosis.
Thank you, ma'am, for
That's the very
clarifying.
average number. Again, it depends on many factors. So
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely. Thank you for clarifying that as well, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am. It was in depth, right from myeloma causes, and you have explained the symptoms and diagnosis. And you also touched upon the in detail on the bone marrow transplant, the chemotherapy. I sincerely hope it benefits our listeners, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your
thank
time.
you. It's been a pleasure. Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.